What's going on, Winners Dialogue family? It's Leon again, checking in with you. Shake my hand. Today is another episode of My Secret Mentor where we highlight black entrepreneurs in the DMV area specifically. Today we got a special guest in the studio. He's a father, youth coach, Lincoln Tech alumni, and entrepreneur. Today we have the founder of JNL Residential LLC, Mr. Justen Lee himself. How you doing today?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, man. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Leon.
I'm glad that you came, man.
Absolutely, man. Of course. Of course.
You know, so basically, we want to get some backstory on how do you get into this? Because there's a lot of people out here that's trying to figure out where to get started, but they don't know where to get started.
Right.
So we figured we'll talk to the people that's actually in the field doing the work already.
Absolutely. Man, where do I start, man? I guess it came the whole, because it really, to be honest, man, in order to be an entrepreneur, you really have to you got to have that mindset that, you know, that you're able to create your own path, that you're able to provide for yourself, that you're able to survive through times that most people would want to give up. There's failures in it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes repeatedly, you know, going about things, you know, trying to do it your way and not really, you know, setting your plans accordingly. But I think it all starts with just the mentality, period. So just from working at younger ages, man, you know, I figured, I looked at it like, and this is me, this might not be everybody, but I feel like I've always had a problem with authority.
Okay.
Right, so me working a job that I really didn't want to be on, having to deal with a supervisor that you know, on top of a job that I didn't want to be at, it just put me in a bad space mentally going to work. Like, I hated going to work. You know, the whole idea of, damn, I got to go to work. I get up in the morning, go to this. I'm thinking about, it's Saturday, and I'm thinking about going to work on Monday.
And it's depressing.
It's like, damn, I only got 2 days off. So, you know, what helped me to conquer that idea was to start to provide for myself. You know, once I decided to go to Lincoln Tech and to do the HVAC, it was like I wanted something that, because I was working construction for a while. I got laid off from construction.
Okay.
During the recession.
Oh yeah.
The market crashed. It was just like, hey, you know, I was the last hired. You know, it just was like, hey, you know, gotta let you go.
So he was like, I'm gonna need a new skill set.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be more of an asset to something, to, you know, to a company or to a brand, whereas though it wouldn't be so easy for you to just let me go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, so I started at Lincoln Tech. I tried medics. I tried the medic school. I tried All-State career to drive trucks. I was just going through different phases to where I just wanted to find a fit.
Trying to find your niche. Was it like something that got you to gravitate towards it? Was it like a natural thing, like I'm good with my hands? Or?
Yeah, I've always been kind of good with my hands. I've always been interested in, you know, how things are put together. But it was, I actually, to be honest, I was looking in the paper, man. You know, this is the time where you found jobs in the classifieds. Yeah. You know, in the newspapers and stuff, not like, it wasn't no Indeed and, you know, these different platforms. It was like, you know, you had to really do the legwork, go fill out applications at different places. Yeah, you know, so in the paper, all I saw was CDLs, medical, HVAC. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try this HVAC thing, right? So I'm like, you know, even if I'm not working with the company, everybody's going to need AC. Everybody needs heat. You know, I work with this plumbing stuff. Everybody need to flush their toilet. Everybody need to run a sink, you know, so it's like, even without a company to back me, I feel like I can still make money on the side. Yeah. So it started with side work, and then as the side work got the jobs got a little bigger each time. I started to build a clientele base to where people were calling me as their handyman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, you know what, like, man, I could do this. Like, I think I can do this. Like, you know, and I kind of, it took me a while to really gather the courage to do it. But it took for me to get fired from my last job.
To put you in that position to say, okay, what's the next thing?
Exactly. They just cut the holes in my back so my wings could expand, man.
That's the way to look at it.
You know, that's exactly what it was. So, and after that, it's still trial and error. You know, each day you learn something. Each project you learn something.
So the learning process, I know you got your formal background from Lincoln Tech, but as far as the expansion outside the HVAC.
Yeah. So maintenance. I did
okay.
maintenance for apartment complex for about 3 years. That was really good, man. It was I learned a lot, like things that I thought I knew how to do or I could do. It was like, no, you don't really know how to do that until
Yeah.
you don't really know how to do something until you can fix something. Like it's easy to replace anything, but
Yeah.
if you can go to a problem and you can fix the problem without replacing the internal parts of it.
Okay.
Just maybe a part here or a piece there. Like say if your speaker broke down, if you could break the speaker down, keep the speaker the same, maybe change one,
Changes.
one wire, one Stacon. You gotta put one Stacon in or
Okay.
do one little solder joint and then the speaker works again. Now you can consider yourself a mechanic.
Yeah.
You can consider yourself technical. Because, it's easy to just buy another one and plug it in.
Yeah, you understand, like, what does it take to actually do the work
Absolutely.
and to put this in.
Absolutely.
So did you use, like, let's say, for instance, you went to a place and somebody said, I need tile work. Did you say, okay, I already know how to do this tile work from that background, or did you have to do any more research, like books? Or
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. I
YouTube?
mean, I research things. It's an old saying in music sometimes where they say you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, if you come across a project where I always thought that, because I'm good with people. So in order for me, I just looked at it like if me and the client can, we can relate on some aspect, then, I feel like I'll be able to get the job. So it's like I wouldn't tell a person I don't do that or I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Because by the time I get to that place to where I need to do the work, I'll go to YouTube, I'll go to, I'll read about it, I'll look it up, I'll call a friend or somebody else in that field, like, listen, I got a project here and they asked me to do da 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 da. I never done that, man. Tell me how. Oh, it's easy. You just write your stuff down, take your notes.
Oh, so yeah, big components, the note taking
Absolutely.
too.
And then by the time you get to this project, you already have an idea of what you're gonna do.
Yeah, so you have no idea what to expect.
Exactly. And if it's something that you don't do typically, like I don't really do roofs, but I know people who do.
Okay.
It's in my network. I have a network of folks that if it's something that absolutely is out of my reach, then I can call somebody in the same network, and it can still be as me helping that person to provide them with another person. So you just got to keep an open mindset.
So with that's a really big component is the network. How
Yes.
did you develop your network to be so strong that you can say I can reach out to this person, in case I need help or I'm not sure if I can help somebody else with this?
Right. I think it was like even in the maintenance field, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of different contractors. People that were doing stuff for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
People that I've come up with that come out of school. Some people get hip to the game that a trade is important, or if whatever it is that you want to do, you got to do something that not everybody does.
Yeah.
Something that not everybody does, and it sets you apart. So me staying in touch with those folks that that were always handy building, guys who fix cars, guys who sell cars, anybody within the network, people that I've come across, I just try to keep a positive relationship with those people and reach out sometimes, not always for help, just sometimes just to check in, like hey, what's going on, just checking on you, making sure you're good, man, everything all right, cool, yeah, all right. Next time I call them, they're gonna answer the phone for me.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Because if you had that rapport with people
right.
was like, okay, I know who you are. I know what to expect from
right.
you. He's not just calling me for
right.
one.
Exactly.
The game.
So if you call somebody, every time you call them, you asking for something.
Yeah.
That next time you call, they're probably not gonna answer, or
He
they
want something again.
Exactly. So it's like you want to keep people aware that you're still in a positive a positive track, and it's kind of like each person that you come across, you just do them right and keep your network as open-minded as possible. Like just because you might, I'm doing HVAC or I'm doing home improvement, somebody who's doing waterproofing or restoration, I wouldn't say I don't need those guys. No, cool, that's what's up, man. You got a card?
Yeah, it's no hurt nothing.
Exactly,
don't hurt nothing to share that information. You never know who it can help. It might help you later.
Right. So that's the idea.
Yeah, that definitely is a big thing. What would you say if a person, let's just say I was fresh out of college and I said I don't have a network and I don't know where to find a group of people that's doing something. What would you suggest they go to find these people?
Right now,
just
man.
To start their network.
Yeah, well,
off.
I mean, right now it's we're in the age of information.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Facebook and Instagram, and not everybody on Facebook is just trolling. Not everybody on Instagram. Some people are actually pushing their business. Some people are sending positive messages. You know, if you look outside the box and just look at the things that most people aren't paying attention to, you can find all types of networks. You know what I mean? Just different groups, different, you know, if you see somebody who puts up a picture and he said that they just replaced this in their house or something, like that's somebody who might know somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are people that, you know, you just inquire about. And so it don't never hurt to ask a question. Never.
Just ask that question.
Ask that question. That's it.
That's the number one thing. I was actually on Facebook earlier, and I seen a Facebook selling group, and I joined it. It was like, hey, let's everybody share their contact information. It's like, hey, just put your business out there.
Exactly.
People that's going to need it is going to at least know that you exist, and they can go to you.
Yeah, and then they're probably going to go to that group first. You know, if they're in that group all the time, every day they know the people in there, then the first thing a problem comes up with something they need, they're going to go to that group first.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're going to, okay, I'm going to look through this group because I know these folks. I feel like I built a rapport with, even though it's through social media, it's still, you know, you still can build a connection there. So and they're like, well, you know what, I'll reach out to this person from this group because Jimmy knows him, and I know Jimmy's a good guy, so let me call him.
That's true, and especially with Facebook now, you can see what your friends. Exactly. Hey, you're a friend of a friend, so that kind of makes it feel like a little bit closer.
Exactly.
So let's just go back a little bit. When you got your first, do you remember the first job and your first client?
Like a side job or like a.
So basically, when you stepped away from the corporate structure of things, you say, you know what, I can kind of step away from this now because it's an influx of people coming in.
Yeah.
Who was that first person that gave you opportunity?
Man, let me see. The first one I did was probably. It's actually I consider him a mentor of mine.
Okay.
You know, not much older than me, but you know, been around doing the work a lot longer than I have. Once I told him that, you know, I'm like, look, man, you know, because he used to call me on different projects, you know, come maybe check on a furnace here or, you know, fix the AC or something like that here. But I told him, like, look, man, you know, I'm doing this now for good. This is what I'm doing. So, you know, anything you got, just call me. He's like, all right. So, like, maybe a week later, he called me gave me a full duct job.
Okay.
Full duct job. It's a house that they gutted. They demoed the whole house. So I ran new duct work, new electric, total new central air system. And it was like, once that job was coming to an end, I'm like, all right, good, it's cool. But I'm thinking like, and what's next? Like, what am I gonna do next? And then before the job ended, I got a call for an estimate, to come do an estimate, right? I go do an estimate there. I'm like, you know what? It's the only one I got right now, so I'm gonna give this person a good price. Let's make sure I set this price right so I don't drown myself. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, I'm still can keep, you know, stay afloat. And they bid, and it was like that one went, and as soon as that one went, another one, and it's kind of how it's been. It's just, even still, I don't really know all my next ones. I got a few lined up now, but I don't know when those are done. It's just
the referrals seem to work themselves out.
A lot of repeat, you know, people that are, because I didn't do any marketing, thing like that. It was just word of mouth, and that's how it's been. Like, I got business cards now on the website thanks to you. You know, but besides that, it's been all word of mouth.
That's good though. Shoot.
Yeah.
They said that's the biggest.
It is, man.
Form of marketing.
It is. I feel like it is because I feel like, you know, some people take heed to what another person's opinion of a person.
And a lot of people do that, especially when they go online for reviews and they say,
man.
"Well, let me see what this person. I don't know this person, but I'm going to take their word for it because." It's the only information I have to go off of at this point.
Right.
So that's a good place. As far as when you say you went off to that next job to get that estimate, how did you know, okay, this is how I'm going to price this? Because pricing, I know for a lot of people, it's like...
It's just complicated. It can get complicated, man, because, you know, depending on, you know, it depends on a lot of different things. Demographics. It depends on, you know, like... the situation, if the person, like, say, if you're going for a big job, is this a homeowner, is this a buyer, or is this a flipper, or is this a real estate agent, or you know, and you can kind of know around that on what prices you can go with and what prices are not acceptable. Yeah. Right. Now, granted, also, if you have anybody that does any type of work that you're trying to do, you reach out to those folks.
Yeah.
I would call my guy Dorian. I call anybody that I was around, like, listen, what would you charge to do da 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 da.
So you reach out to your network first.
Yeah, exactly. And then they say, well, how much? What's the measurements? And I give them the measurements or whatever, and they say, all right, well, usually I would do it according to this. But I'm thinking like, okay, so it's just me. You got 2 or 3 guys with you. It's just me. I could probably cut that down a little bit and get this job. Because if you tell them you can do it, that you've done these for around this range average. So if I come in a little lower, then that's almost a guarantee.
So basically, you would recommend to reach out to your network.
Yes.
You have that first. If I don't have a network, because I know initially when I was looking into web design and different business models, I said, okay, how much do people in this network, in this business, get paid? Because I don't know what to charge anybody.
Also, what I did was I called an old company I used to work for.
Oh, okay.
And I used to call them and ask them, like, because, you know, a lot of companies, they'll say they'll come out and give you an estimate. They won't give you numbers over the phone. But, you know, it's all about how you ask, man, how you know, your approach on things. You know, if you come in like, listen, hey, look, I got a full system duct job over here that needs to be done. I'm sorry, I'm really in a hurry. I'm really busy right now. I just need to know a ballpark figure for, you know, it's 5 bedrooms. I got upstairs, downstairs. Just what typically would that charge? And they'll probably give you the high end.
Yeah.
Right? So that way, if there's any wiggle room, then they can come down a little bit instead of it being at the low end, and then they're held to that number. So at that point, you just kind of got to go off with your feeling. I've been turned down for some projects that people said the price was too high, but I felt like at the end of the day, my time and my labor is.
Yeah, you start to get a better understanding. The more you do it, you say, well, hold on, this does take a lot longer.
It's a lot longer. You know, I might put this floor down for you, and at the end of the job, I'm going home. I'm beat up. Like, I'm sore. So it's like I'm preparing for that, you know, that next day. So, you know, it's really just about what you really want to do, how much you want to make off a project typically.
Yeah, so you got to value your time.
Exactly.
You got to prioritize it.
Exactly.
So, in attempt to pay it forward, if you had to suggest, like, okay, I'm just entering this new business model, what would be the best equipment to get for a starter? Like somebody just starting off. They got their degree, they got their license, but what would the equipment
in
look
my
like?
field?
Yes.
In HVAC field. Well, in HVAC, because I'm leaning more towards home improvement. But in the HVAC field, it's a certain set of tools that you're gonna need in order to do anything. You know, a meter, electric meter.
Okay. Electric meter.
Yep. I mean, a 6-in-1, 11-in-1, or drill. Some high pressure, low pressure gauges.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say hand tools.
Okay,
hand
so
tools.
That would be basically stuff they can get from the hardware store.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you probably would spend maybe about $500 on a starter tool set.
And you can probably make that back
in one job.
First job. That's your initial investment.
First job,
to
you can get it.
Get your money back.
Yep.
Get back out there.
Yep.
In your expert opinion, what would be the best practice to get reoccurring customers and actually scout for new ones? I know you said, like, right now you're kind of getting a lot of influx from word of mouth, which is great, but a lot of people don't know how to get that. Like you said, you're a gifted communicator, so you're good at talking to people and saying, hey, I'm just getting a feel for you, feel things out, and then go from there.
It's tough, man, because, you know, like each person's different, man. You know, people it's really approach. It's about your approach. If you know, if you do a good job, I always say if you do a good job, anything you do, most people will appreciate that. You know, if I give a person a price for a job and I come in to do this job, I'm on time. You know, I clean up behind myself. You know, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not making this person uncomfortable being in their house working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my language, you know what I mean? My hygiene, my demeanor, all these different things account for something. So if you go into a person's house respectable and you know, and you're in their house like it's not your house, like it's their house.
Yes.
And, you know, and you treat their space and your job as serious as they are treating the money that they want to spend with you, then I feel like, you know, people will appreciate that. And a lot of people are leaning more towards small business because big corporations can't always be trusted.
And they feel like sometimes, like you said, the overpricing of things as
Absolutely.
well. So
overhead, a lot of overhead.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't look, at least the customer's not looking at it. It's like, well,
Right.
they're charging me a lot of money and this guy's not charging me a lot of money.
Right. It's just they got a lot of overhead. I don't have much overhead.
They
So
got the buildings and the
exactly. They got
equipment,
the
trucks,
vehicles,
the insurance that comes along with
everything, man, everything. Yep.
So what about as far as licensing goes? Do you need any particular
Yes.
licensing and insurance that it carries?
Yeah. So in order to do, so with my LLC and in my business, I needed a few licenses. For one, I needed my contractor's license, which is the MHIC, your Maryland Home Improvement Contractors.
How do you go about getting it?
So you go through Department of Labor License and Regulation.
Okay.
And then on that you can even go on the website, and then it'll give you you just go through the menu options, and then you pick according to whatever it is you're looking to do. You would have to go down to the building down on it's not President Street. It's off of Utah. I forget the name of the street, but it's the state
Utah?
building.
Okay, I know
the
what
state
building.
building downtown. Go down the state building. I think it's like the 8th floor or something like that. But you're gonna go check in. You talk to they'll tell you which way you want to go. When you get there, it's more of the person just following through than it really being that difficult.
It's just a matter of going down there and saying
Yeah.
they will explain to you what you need.
Exactly.
Much
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, but to start, you need for this, I need my MHIC license. In the HVAC, you need your CFCs. In order for you to deal with any type of refrigerant, you got to have your CFC. They won't sell it to you in the store. If you get caught working on an air conditioning and you're not certified for it, they can fine you.
That's
it's
like dealing with Freon and stuff.
Absolutely. It's a lot of different things because some of those chemicals are pollutants.
Yeah, and they can explode.
Exactly. So you have to be safe and be careful and at least trained to handle some of those chemicals. I have my journeyman's license right now, currently in HVAC. But to totally have an HVAC company, you need a master license.
You need a master's license.
Yes.
At least on file with somebody, so you can partner with somebody as well to get that.
Yep. So I have those a part of the network. So even the plumber's masters, like I said, all those, that network is really important, man, because it helps you. And it's even like with banks and insurance companies, like they aren't as big as you would think they are. It's just the people that their sponsors and their network around that helps them to be as big or as broad as they are. So and that's the approach that I look at. That's how I kind of go for it.
What about the insurances? Do you need like any special insurance to get into this? Like, say I go in your house and I mess up something, would they require certain insurance to cover that?
Yes. Your business, definitely, I suggest your business have insurance. I would say minimum maybe $600,000. To work in like multi-housing facilities like apartment complexes, stuff like that, you need to have $1 million in insurance coverage.
Oh, okay.
In order to get your MHIC, you also have to have a $20,000 bond through the state, and that's like state insurance. And then your business has insurance, so it's like so the bond is for more so when if you go into a contract or with a company and whatever you have any problems or whatever, and they decide, well, we're going to sue you, right? The bond is also there to help protect your business.
Yeah.
They'll do the investigation over the lawsuit and see if you have fault or whatever. And then they'll say, okay, we'll cover this, and then you recover this to us so you can continue your business. But hopefully none of that stuff comes about. But yeah, insurance is definitely
good to have that protective barrier right there for you.
Because anything can happen, man. Anything
for them,
can happen.
the customer and you.
Absolutely.
Anything
can happen. Yes. Yep.
Speaking of anything happen, what's your worst experience that you would say that you had? Not no specific names or nothing like that, of course, but like just an overall experience that you had in the field that made you say, "Is this the right? Am I going the right direction with this?"
There was a job I had. I went to do a service call, and it was like over the phone. I'm like, my mom, like, "Oh, it's gonna be easy. I'll go over here, knock this thing out." So I told him, I gave him a price, like, "Look, $150, and I'll be there in a few minutes, and I'll take care of it." So I get there, and this service call turned into a disaster.
Okay.
But I had already given them a price, right?
All right.
And so when I went back to it, and I'm thinking like, damn, I got to take this. I got to remove this part. You need this part. I'm like, oh man. So I go and get the stuff. I replace it. The unit's still not working, right? I'm there. So this 30-minute fix turned into 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
right?
Then
And
it
this
started
was at
ramping
like
up.
7 o'clock when I got there. It's like 10:30 now, almost 11. I still haven't really figured it out yet, and these people are looking at me like, "Well, I thought you said it was easy, or what we gonna do now?" Like, and so I had to come back the next day, and it just was it was a lot to it, man. Just but I learned that I won't tell a person that the job's gonna be easy or I'm gonna fix it with this until I get there and see it myself.
So now it kind of makes sense where they're kind of coming back to what the big corporations were
Yeah.
saying, hey, we need to come out there and assess
Yes.
it in person
Yes.
before we can give you a number.
Yes, because
Because
people
you're
will
gonna
hold
hold me
you
to
to
that
it.
number.
Yeah, they will hold you to that. They will definitely hold you to it.
So, well, you told me this.
Exactly, man. So it's just I probably had some worse ones, but I try to keep those in the back storage room of my brain, so that
Okay.
way and when I need to refer to a certain situation, it shows face. It shows face. Yeah.
All right. So what about marketing? Like right now, what are you doing as far as getting your business exposure now? Like so people can know, okay, this is a good way to
I mean, besides
be viable.
when it's dialogue, man, I'm going through just friends, social media, all the work that I do. I post a picture, before and afters, maybe videos, whatever I can do. I might put a little music on the video just to give it some flavor.
Yeah.
Just give it something
Personality.
some personality. You know what I mean? So right now, yeah, my platforms are really social media, man. I give out business cards to residents that I've done work for, and then they pass them along to people who needs them, and that's my marketing. I mean, I've had Angie's List and Yelp and Google and all these different folks, reach out to me and offer promotion services, but I feel like until I'm at a point where I'm starving,
Okay.
then I'm going to do it myself.
Any plans for expansion as far as getting a bigger
Absolutely.
crew or anything?
Absolutely. I actually just hired a new guy. He works pretty good, man. He's pretty good. But yeah, my plan originally, I want to have maybe 4 or 5 trucks on the road. Not nothing crazy, but at least in the state of Maryland, have 4 or 5 trucks. I want to be at least an East Coast brand.
Yeah.
At least the East Coast brand, like, maybe a location north and location here, around the Winn-Dixie, the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
And then, a location closer in the south. That's, as of right now, that's really, I just want it to be something that's going to last like Home Depot or
okay.
like Lowe's, like Carpet Liquidators. Like
no, sky's the limit.
Exactly, stuff that you hear commercials over time, and it's like you don't forget it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I want the business to be, man.
Yeah, that's a good. You're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
That's what I should say. You said, especially putting those before and after pictures, it gives some type of insight to the people that's on the fence.
Yes.
They say, "Well, I don't know what to expect." Now you know what to expect. You can see the work for yourself and like the feedback from other people, seeing reviews. That all helps. And
I try to put like real timelines on it. You know what I mean? So that way, people can see like, all right, this was done. This is the before on Monday. This is the after on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, I want to put the timelines on to let folks know that, yeah, this is a before and after. Excuse me. But it's not it didn't take me 45 days to do it. You know what I mean? So it's really just about how you market yourself. What is it that you really want from your business? What is it that you want people to see you as? And that's kind of like each person's going to have to answer that on their own,
Yeah, you know what your motivation
Absolutely.
is. And then once you can know what that is, you can draw from it and always bring you back in.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you this real quickly. What recommendations would you give to somebody as far as what book, app, or link or website that they could use to get into the home improvement HVAC side of things?
So they have a few books on the PSI website for like contracting, home improvement, so you can learn. I mean, because it helps to know how to do stuff, but it also helps to know the code. Also helps to know what's going to pass inspection, what's not going to pass inspection. It helps to know that what's legal and what's not legal. What material is going to work and what material isn't going to work. What's the newest type of material out that could save you some time, might cost you a little bit more money, but it'll save you 2 hours on a project.
Yeah.
you kind of got to just look for YouTube. I do a lot on, like I said, the PSI network, the PSI website. They have the books listed there for per trade. You know, for electric, for plumbing, for HVAC, everything there. They have all different types of books for codes, for stuff that is important to know, man. Because it's easy to do the work, man, but it's really like it becomes a problem when you're a liability on that work.
Yeah, so knowing the information and knowing
Yeah.
where to get it, and just like you said, come to the PSI website, and that's a good place for.
That's a good
start
place.
off.
Yep. I mean, like I said, YouTube, Google. As I said, this is the age of information. You know what I mean? You can look on the internet and find anything that you wanted to find. It's just, knowing that, all right, that first site that you go to, that might not be the most accurate one. So do some research. You know what I mean? Go to two or three of them and compare the information and see. And then if you get the same information, even if it's only a sentence of it, the same thing, then that right there is what
that's accurate.
That's accurate.
You can go off of
Right.
that and actually utilize it. All right, so again, I'm glad to have you in here.
Absolutely,
but before you
man.
go,
Yes,
I want to
sir.
ask you to give the people a way to contact you, give them your social media handles.
Yeah,
and
man.
what's
So we got JNL Residential LLC. Social media, I am JNL Residential LLC on IG. JNL Residential LLC on Facebook. Also, the website is www.jnlresidentialllc.com.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of My Secret Mentor. And as always, remember, dreams plus action equals life.